Teagle to DT.
Teagle to DT. Teagle to DT.
Teagle to DT.
Let's go Broncos! Sports Tavern has really meant the world to me. I moved out to DC in 2008, and it was literally the first place I came. I had a friend bring me here and said, "Hillary, you have to check this place out. You're gonna love it." He was a Chiefs fan and actually didn't know it was a Bronco bar, so he brought me here to watch the game, and it was awesome. We walked in, wall to wall Bronco fans. This has been my family since I moved to Washington, D.C. I moved here from Colorado about 8 years ago, and the first thing I did was fall into the lap of this family here. It's been amazing. They've been great support. My son was in a near-fatal motorcycle accident 5 years ago. We almost lost him, and the people here were incredible in the support they provided for me and for him. But the Broncos organization too, they got us a signed football and some bobbleheads and an Elway jersey, and just there was so much love and support. It was great. I wouldn't stay in DC without these people here.
It's become one of those things where it's not that you don't want to watch the game anywhere else, it's that you really can't, because nothing will ever rival the people that have made that place a home away from home. And nothing can ever change that. And I was just so happy to be a part of something that's just a lot bigger than me. The Broncos don't necessarily just mean a football team. It's an idea of how they go about and represent themselves within the community of Colorado that we've all grown up with or been a part of, and it's become such an integral part of our lives that that's how much you enjoy it. And I'll leave it with Eric giving me one of the best quotes. He's all, "I've never met a Broncos fan that I didn't like." That is actually absolutely true.
The Broncos fan club came about on September 9th, 2007. I had just moved to Washington, D.C. I was fresh out of college and had probably one too many beers in me, but I was in Ballston, Virginia at a bar called Bailey's Sports Bar, and so right after the Broncos beat the Bills that day 15-14, I wandered around the bar and found every single person that I could find that had anything that had to do with Denver and the Broncos on, and I just started making an email list. A couple weeks later, we started meeting at the Roadside Grill in Arlington, Virginia, and the rest is sort of history. So in 2008, for the 2008 season, I started calling around. Our goal was to not only find a bar that was willing to exclusively play the Broncos games while the Broncos were playing, but also find somewhere that was a little bit more accessible to people who lived in DC and in Maryland. And so the more and more we searched, the more we realized we needed to be in the district. And I reached out to Mike at Penn Quarter, and more so than any other place, he was open to the idea of bringing our group in, hosting us, and treating us like family, and it's pretty much been that way ever since.
The Broncos organization has been absolutely wonderful, really meaningful part of the bar since we began. Been with us since very, very early on, and much of the reason for the success of Penn Quarter Sports Tavern is due to the Broncos group. Really have all the admiration in the world for each one of the guys that have organized this group. Eric Allen, in 2008, with the help of Matt Hunter, old employee that worked here at the bar, organized the group. Ron Campbell took over a couple of years after that, and they started with 7 or 8 people coming on Sundays watching these games, and as the bar grew, so did the group. Now, any given Sunday, it could be as many as 75 to 150 people in here. So much thanks to the group. Go Broncos.
Like I said earlier, the Bronco Bar is a family. We feel like your family as soon as you get here, and your family forever. Back in 2011, our Bronco family was struck with a little bit of tragedy. One of our longtime members, Erica Langhart, passed away the weekend of Thanksgiving due to some complications of a heart attack. She was 24, I think, at the time, and it was amazing to see the group come together. Her family came, had a memorial service for her, and we just kind of try to honor her memory. Her parents donated this awesome jersey to the bar as a way to keep her memory alive here and to honor her.
So the first thing that happens when I walk in here is I turn into mom, and I am so good with that because these are my kids, and I feel that way about everybody who comes in here. And it'll be a chorus. I walk in the door and everybody goes, "Hey, Mom!" And there are people here who still don't know if I have a real name, and I'm okay with that too because this is just the greatest part of family.
Love you, Mom.
Hi, I'm David Johnson, and I lead the Denver Broncos fans in Seattle. But before I lived in Seattle, I was a member of the Denver Broncos fans Washington, D.C. chapter, who met at the Penn Quarter Tavern in Washington, D.C. I'll never forget the first time I walked into the Penn Quarter Tavern, and I was met with high fives and cheers and hugs, and from that point on, that group was family to me. A lot of us have moved on since then, and when I moved to Seattle 4 years ago, I wanted to find something and make something that was just like that. And 4 years since then, what we've become is we've become a huge group that's become like family, just like Washington, D.C. And we're proud to have extended the Broncos country family into the Pacific Northwest. We have a bar of our own, the St. Andrews Bar and Grill, and now we even have 3 or 4 more bars where Broncos fans can eat. So again, we're proud to extend the Broncos family, and I'm really proud to have come from the Washington, D.C. chapter and Penn Quarter Tavern. Go Broncos!
Here we go, Broncos! Here we go!
Some of you guys know me as a hype man at Penn Quarter. Some of you guys know me as a founder of the Baltimore chapter at McGurk's and Federal Hill. Penn Quarter is a great experience for any Bronco fan. I encourage you to come into DC, check it out. It's a great time. I just never met a group of people like this before. I'm from North Carolina, and I've always been a fan of the Broncos, and I just never met any other fans ever in my life. I walk in here, I see all these fans in here. I had to run around DC to find an orange shirt, but I couldn't walk in here to get a drink, and all these Bronco fans are in here. I'm wearing Raiders colors. So it cost me $15 to find an orange shirt in DC on a Sunday. And then I came in, Eric shook my hand, Eric Allen, the founder, and said, "Hey, never met a Bronco fan that I didn't like." And that resonated with me for my whole life. And I always tell everybody coming into McGurk's the same thing Eric told me.
One of the crazier ideas we've come up with since we've been coming in Penn Quarter is the Bronco Bomb. Many renditions of this exist. Started with orange juice, but now it's Orange Crush, obviously, blue curacao. Beginning of every game, we drop the blue and the orange and go Broncos.
Right here, I would get 2 minutes away from DC. I lived 25 minutes away from DC back in the day in a town called Oxon Hill. And I would be about 2 minutes away coming down 7th Street. And I didn't have this in my car. Ron, Mom, Mia, Lindsay would maybe turn all the way back around, go back home and get this daggone cake. We had a ton of fans out in Baltimore. Shout out to our great fans. Great team win, but still a lot more work to get done. Stay grinding. So you see, I got his jersey on. Unfortunately, he no longer plays for us, but he's still one of my favorite Broncos of all time. Number 2 is Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, not the wide receiver. I know your mom, so I gotta make sure I give a shout out to her. I'm creating this video. I just want to give a shout out to the Gimmel family. We're still devastated by those losses to the members of our group. Penn Quarter is always there with the open arms, and we're a family, and we're always going to have you guys' back. How about them Broncos?
How about them Broncos?
How about them Broncos?
How about them Broncos?